I discovered a QR code on my wife's back while she was sleeping. To see what it contained, I immediately took out my phone and scanned it. To my surprise, I found there was actually content inside. It turned out to be a 50 GB cloud video that required a password to access. As I wondered what the video might be, my wife woke up. From her expression, I could tell she didn't seem to know about it. I thought it was just a prank by someone else. So I didn't think much of it, turned off the light, and went to sleep early. The next day, when I was flying for a business trip, I happened to be on the same flight as my wife. I wanted to surprise her, so I decided not to reveal myself right away. Instead, I put on a mask, messed up my hair, and disguised myself as a stranger. Sure enough, my wife didn't recognize me. She thought I was an important VIP in first class. She personally led me to the first class section. What surprised me, however, was that out of the 12 seats in first class, 8 of them were attended by flight attendants. As we walked down the aisle, I was also surprised to see a cup of iced Americano in front of every male passenger. At first, I didn't think much of it, but when I sat down next to her as she instructed, she even helped me change into my slippers. The service was better than I expected. Then she mysteriously asked what I'd like to drink. She introduced orange juice, warm water, and iced Americano. I clearly sensed that the iced Americano might have some hidden meaning. To find out, I chose iced Americano. My wife smiled with satisfaction when she heard my choice. Once again, I was moved by her kindness, because she had never been this gentle with me after we got married. But then I reminded myself, she was just at work, so her warm attitude was normal. I didn't think too much of it. A few minutes later, the flight attendant brought the iced Americano I ordered, but it tasted just like a regular iced Americano. At that moment, I noticed the other passengers who ordered iced Americanos were being escorted by the flight attendants into the restroom. 3 of them went in together. I was even more puzzled. There are usually only 2 restrooms on a plane, but clearly 3 people just entered. As time passed, I noticed the flight attendant and the passengers hadn't come out yet. A while later, the first 2 passengers came out, and they had extremely relaxed expressions on their faces. This made me even more curious. Why would a restroom make them look like that? Then the first flight attendant came out looking flustered. My unease grew stronger because I noticed my wife and the male passenger hadn't come out yet. I immediately used the excuse of needing to use the restroom to ask the flight attendant to guide me there. When I got to the restroom door, I suddenly heard my wife's voice from the adjacent stall. I knocked, but only the male passenger responded. Reluctantly, I gave up for now. As I walked into the restroom, the flight attendant nearby quietly sighed in relief. I washed my face and forced myself to calm down. After all, before we got married, my wife wouldn't even allow a man to touch her, so there was no way she would betray me. After reassuring myself, I put my mask back on and walked out of the restroom. But when I returned to my seat, I saw my wife walking out from behind the curtain, disheveled. The male passenger who went in with her followed behind. What shocked me even more was that my wife's stockings were missing. I clearly remembered that she was wearing them when she boarded the plane. Just when I didn't know what to do, I suddenly overheard other passengers discussing the service. They all said this flight had the best service ever, and some even said that after flying first class, they felt like their life had been wasted up until